Have you ever walked into a room in your house, maybe it's the garage or a junk drawer, or even just your email inbox, and felt a sudden, overwhelming sense of anxiety? You look at the mess, the clutter, the unorganized pile of stuff, and you feel a low-level threat. It's not a lion or a tiger, but it is a monster. It is the monster of the unknown. It is chaos. We live in a world that feels increasingly like that junk drawer. Political instability, economic uncertainty, the rapid change of technology. We are drowning in noise. We feel like we are standing on shifting sand, and we are desperate for something solid. We are desperate for order. But what if I told you that this anxiety, this battle between the messy unknown and the structured known, is the oldest story in human history? What if I told you that 4,000 years ago, in the ancient city of Babylon, priests would recite a poem every new year just to remind themselves of how to survive this exact feeling? Today, we're going to dust off 7 broken clay tablets found in the ruins of modern-day Iraq. We are reading the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian epic of creation. This isn't just a fantasy story about gods and dragons. It is a psychological map. It is the manual for how to take the chaos of your life and forge it into a habitable world. To understand Enuma Elish, we have to go back to the beginning. The poem starts with the words, "when on high," which is what Enuma Elish means. It describes a time before the heavens and earth were named. There was only water. Swirling dark deep water. There were 2 primal forces. Apsu, the sweet, fresh water, representing structure and rigid masculinity, and Tiamat, the salty, bitter ocean, representing chaos, the unknown, and the feminine matrix of creation. They mingled together in a single body. From this mixture, younger gods were born. These young gods represent activity, noise, and life. And here's where the core message of the book begins. The young gods were noisy. They surged back and forth, dancing and playing within the belly of Tiamat. And their noise disturbed the old gods. Apsu, the father, couldn't sleep. He wanted to kill his children just to get some peace and quiet. He wanted to return to the silence of non-existence. This is the fundamental conflict of the universe. The old, rigid order, Apsu, wants to crush the new, potential life because it is too chaotic. But Tiamat, the mother of chaos, initially protects them. However, eventually the conflict escalates. A war breaks out in the heavens. Tiamat, enraged by the murder of her husband, transforms. She becomes a dragon. She births 11 monsters, viper men, rabbit dogs, scorpion men, to destroy the younger gods. The universe is in total panic. Chaos has unleashed its full power. The younger gods are terrified. They have no leader who can stand against the dragon of chaos, until one steps forward, Marduk. Marduk is the hero of our story. He has 4 eyes and 4 ears to see and hear everything. He demands absolute authority. He says, "I will fight the monster, but if I win, you must make me your king. My word must become law." The gods agree. The battle between Marduk and Tiamat is the climax of the epic, but pay close attention to how he fights her. He doesn't just use a sword. He uses the wind. He uses a net. When Tiamat opens her mouth to swallow him, he drives the evil wind into her mouth so she cannot close her lips. He shoots an arrow into her heart, splitting her open. He then takes her carcass, the body of chaos, and splits it in 2 like a shellfish. With one half, he makes the sky. With the other, he makes the earth. He creates the stars, the calendar, the stations of the gods. He creates order. So, what is the single thread that ties this blood-soaked myth together? It is the idea that order is not natural. Order is something that must be achieved. The universe defaults to Tiamat. It defaults to entropy and chaos. If you do nothing, your garden fills with weeds. If you do nothing, your relationship falls apart. If you do nothing, your mind fills with anxiety. Marduk represents the conscious effort to confront the scary, messy unknown and cut it into useful pieces. The core philosophy of Enuma Elish is that life is a perpetual act of world building through the defeat of chaos. Now, Let's dive into the 3 key insights that this ancient text offers us today. Insight number 1. The necessity of the magic of speech. Before Marduk goes to fight Tiamat, the gods test him. They place a constellation in the sky and ask him to destroy it and recreate it just by speaking. Marduk speaks, and the stars vanish. He speaks again, and they reappear. Why is this detail important? Because in the Babylonian worldview, the ultimate power is not physical strength. It is the power of the word. To name something is to have power over it. Marduk defeats chaos because he can define it. In your life, chaos often comes in the form of vague anxiety. You feel bad, but you don't know why. That is Tiamat. That is the monster. The moment you speak it, the moment you say, I am anxious because I haven't finished that report, or I am angry because I feel ignored, you are being Marduk. You are using the magic of speech to turn a vague terror into a manageable problem. You cannot fight what you cannot name. Insight number 2. Chaos is not evil, it is raw material. We tend to think of Tiamat as the villain. She is a dragon, a monster. But remember, she is also the mother of everything. Without Tiamat there is no creation. Marduk does not make the world out of nothing. He makes the world out of Tiamat's body. This is a profound realization. The chaos in your life, the tragedy, the heartbreak, the confusion is not just something to be destroyed. It is the raw material for your new life. You build your character out of the pieces of your suffering. You build your career out of the problems you solve. If there were no Tiamat, Marduk would have nothing to do. He would have no glory. Do not wish for a life with no problems. Wish for the strength to cut those problems into a new world. Insight number 3. The purpose of mankind is service. After the world is built, the gods are tired. They have to work to maintain this new order. So Marduk has one final idea. He takes the blood of Kingu, the general of the monster army, and mixes it with clay to create human beings. He says, I will create a savage, man shall be his name. He shall be charged with the service of the gods, that they might be at ease. Modern ears might hear this and think, slavery. But the ancient Babylonians heard, purpose. In their view, humans are the only beings capable of maintaining the divine order on earth. We are part monster, Kingu's blood, and part earth, clay. We have a rebellious nature, but our job is to keep the chaos at bay. We are the gardeners of existence. This gives dignity to work. Whether you are sweeping the floor or running a company, you are holding back the tides of chaos. You are allowing the gods the higher values to rest and flourish. So, how do we apply the wisdom of Marduk to our Monday morning? First, identify your dragon. What is the Tiamat in your life right now? Is it your health? Is it your debt? Is it a difficult conversation you are avoiding? The more you ignore it, the bigger the dragon gets. Tiamat grows in the dark. Be like Marduk. Look at it with all 4 eyes. Name it. Second, use your net and your wind. Marduk used a net to capture Tiamat and wind to keep her mouth open. You need a structure, the net, and you need to speak the truth, the wind. If your life is chaotic, build a schedule. That is your net. If your relationships are chaotic, speak your needs clearly. That is your wind. Don't just swing a sword blindly. Be strategic. Third, renew your world annually. In Babylon, they recited this poem every new year during the Akichu festival. Why? Because they knew that order wears out. The world gets dirty. Rules get outdated. You need to reconquer chaos periodically. Don't assume that because you fixed your life once, it will stay fixed. Every year, every month, maybe even every morning, you have to wake up and slay the dragon again. The Enuma Elish ends with the gods building the city of Babylon as a home for the gods. The word Bab-ilu means gate of the god. By creating order out of your own chaos, you turn your life into a place where something divine can reside. You become the architect of your own sanctuary. The tablets may be broken, and the city of Babylon may be dust, but the war between Marduk and Tiamat is being fought right now inside your head. Pick up your net, Speak your word. And go build your world.